Welcome to Behind the Golden Shovel, a podcast and television show produced by the Southern Carolina Alliance, a regional economic development organization in 7 counties in South Carolina. In this episode, we'll find out more about the mission of SCA and about a huge development, the inland port.
All right, we're here now with Mark Hall of NorthPoint Development. We're going to talk about some of the development happening in the area, big project ahead of us. Mark, nice to see you.
Great to be here.
So this is an exciting topic we're going to cover today. I want to give some context to our viewers, though, and start with just talking a little bit about what it is that you do at NorthPoint.
So we've been in this market for a little over 30 years, and basically we're a land development company. Look for opportunities, but also strategic locations. And so the property that we came to the market on was the intersection of I-95 and I-16. Mixed-use project that had residential, 2 golf communities, commercial as well as industrial. And over time, projects like the Sherwood track, known as SALT, every once in a while pop up, and we try to be strategic in how we align ourselves with projects like that.
So let's unpack that project a little bit, and there's a lot to talk about, but let's give an overview for viewers or listeners who might not be as familiar with this project, what exactly the SALT project is at Sherwood Tract, and a little bit about how this aligns with Southern Carolina Alliance and what they're looking to do.
Right. Well, obviously the growth of the Southeast is the backdrop and the context of everything that's happening right now. And while our region has been experiencing growth for decades, there are certain events, whether it's interest rates or other things that sort of accelerate or put projects on pause. And the Sherwood track was really discovered back 7 or 8 years ago by other manufacturers and industrial entities that looked at the location and said, this is where we want to be. And so the state got involved, and about 4 years ago was able to acquire the track, and then through a process of about 1.5 years, we became aligned and partners with SCA on that project. Really what it comes down to is location. I mean, at I-95, on the coast, close to a major port, an expanding port, the location just sits up great for what is on the drawing board at this point.
So if you would, Mark, give us a little bit more information about why it's so meaningful that both your organization and Southern Carolina Alliance are embarking on this project at the same time.
Well, one of the unique features of the Sherwood track is that basically it's 2 large parcels adjacent. The state, through SCA, developing the southern parcel, which is dedicated toward manufacturing. And so that's the jobs that obviously Jasper County, the city of Hardeeville, and the state are looking for. And then the northern half of the project is designated for support for the manufacturing, i.e. logistics, warehouses, infrastructure for suppliers, so that the state can do what it does and incentivize a OEM, a manufacturer, to come and locate, bring the jobs, the investment, and then we can provide the complementary development that sort of ensures the success of that manufacturer.
Yeah, so the timing here obviously is key between yourself and Southern Carolina Alliance. I want to talk more about the future of the project and what really is possible as we move forward. We're going to do that after the break, if you'll stick with us.
Great, thank you.
We hope you'll stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, you're watching and listening to Behind the Golden Shovel. We are here with Mark Hall of NorthPoint, and we're talking about, lots to talk about really with the SALT project, this development. I want to talk, Mark, a little bit more while I have you here about, really the future of Sherwood, the potential that is possible.
Well, I mean, one of the things that is happening, obviously, throughout the Southeast is the advent of EV production. I mean, there's an announcement almost monthly about more jobs, more manufacturing, reshoring to the Southeast, and with the incentives that the state of South Carolina provides, I mean, we are a front runner through SCA on a lot of these projects. So I know right now SCA is tracking several really strong leads. And then in terms of the support, logistics, warehouse, that the port growth in the Southeast is just phenomenal right now. And there are a lot of factors, obviously, that contribute to that. And the trend line was very strong before the pandemic, and certainly the pandemic has accelerated those trends. And so what we're doing right now is taking advantage of the growth and the opportunities, both manufacturing and logistics, at the same time being good stewards of the land, of the opportunity, and being good neighbors. And I think that's the blend that the community is looking for, and something that we keep in the forefront of our minds.
Absolutely, well said. I want to really expand a little bit more too on partnerships, talking about private and public partnerships like Southern Carolina Alliance and NorthPoint. Not just that, and not just on this scale, but even on a grander scale, why that is so key in really getting things done and propelling projects like this one.
Well, I think what any strong organization does is have a great view or perspective on what they do well, and then the things that they want to do in alignment with others. And so, just like owning a restaurant, for example, you have a great chef, a great cook in the kitchen, but who's going to run the business? Because the chef's just pushing out great food, but who's doing the marketing, who's taking care of payroll, all those kind of things, which a lot of times a high creative is not great at. And so with private developers like NorthPoint, in conjunction with a public entity, State of South Carolina Department of Commerce, Southern Carolina Alliance, they can attract the big manufacturers. They have the ability to incentivize that kind of investment, while in conjunction with what they do, we can invest in a speculative project, roads, water and sewer, other infrastructure, to develop a complementary infrastructure to those jobs. And so for us,